Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the BlockRocket monthly pitch event for April. As usual, we have the same format of the monthly pitch event. We are like 4 startups and 4 jury member. But before moving to the event ahead, I would like to take opportunity to tell you about BlockRocket. So who we are, what we are doing, and how we can build a strong ecosystem in German market. So yes, BlockRocket is like a leading startup accelerator and startup investor in blockchain ecosystem in Germany. We are focusing on German ecosystem. Yes, so what we are doing at BlockRocket. So BlockRocket was started early in 2018 to focus into blockchain ecosystem, especially in German ecosystem. But it should not be like the startup should not be like located in German market. They could be from any part of the world, but at least they should have like a significant role to disrupt the German market when it comes to launching their product. So what we are doing. So we do the like seed investment into early stage startup. We help the startup with 360-degree advisory. That means like matchmaking and marketing. We help the startup with the mentorship and advisory. Of course, the next slide is like, of course, this is like you guys thinking like, okay, I think everyone knows Vitalik Buterin and like also like Steve Jobs. So in nutshell, what we are doing is like we are looking for always like next big thing in blockchain. So if you think you are nerd and you're working from your own garage on building something next exciting thing on blockchain ecosystem, then we are really looking forward to your application. So with BlockRocket, what we have accomplished so far, so we have received so far more than 200 plus startup application. And out of 200 plus startup application, we have shortlisted 50 plus startups in our ecosystem, and then we have already executed more than 5 plus like investment into our. We have like like more than 5 plus like startup in our portfolio. That means like we invested like more than €500,000 in that several different startups. Apart from that, BlockRocket have like 250 plus partners, which includes like corporate blockchain provider, tech provider, law firms, and also like some advisor who is like very well educated in blockchain space. We have also like top VCs in our partner network. They are doing the regularly investment into blockchain ecosystem, and that are like a 30 plus. That they are like mostly located in Germany and DACH region. Apart from that, we also have like a VC connection in Singapore market and as well as in US market. We of course we organize every month monthly pitch event. Apart from that, we also organize panel event, also like podcast with the prominent blockchain personalities, and we do investment up to like 150k euro into single individual startup investment. So these are the like partner networks. So you can see here like we have like partners from corporates, tech providers, also like event organizers. We have like also custodians. We have also like law firms. We, as I said earlier, like 30 plus VCs in our partner network. Apart from that, we are also very well connected with the blockchain medias, which is like being crypto, BTC Eco, and Cointelegraph. So if you think like, okay, how does it work? So if you are like a startup and if you're looking for funding, then we have like several phases of our startup application as usual, like a normal startup accelerator does. So you go to our website, www.blockrocket.io, and you apply as your startup. You fill out some questions. There are like several questions regarding your product and your business plan. You answer it. Then the next phase would be like organizing the interview with the startup founders. And then sometime if we think, we also invite the startup to our like events, monthly pitch event, to pitch in front of our community and jury members. And then later on, we do like a deep dive and due diligence into the startup, and then we execute the seed investment. After the seed investment, the startup comes to our program, which is like 12 to 24 months of time period. That means like in that next 24 months of time period, startup will get all kind of advisory, and also we help them with building the awesome product and doing big thing in the blockchain ecosystem. So so far what we did, so we had like shortlisted like several startup here, and so far we have executed like a 6 startup investment in our portfolio. So BlockRocket team, this is we. If you think we could be helpful for you guys in any manner, please feel free to reach out to us, or you can also go to our website and write us email, or you can also scan the barcode code and you can also reach out to us. Apart from that, if you think, or if your family member or colleagues are working from their garage and building the next big thing in the blockchain ecosystem, I would say please feel free to apply to BlockRocket investment program, and we are looking forward to your application. So this is what we are doing. So that was like a small introduction about us. Moving ahead further to the event, I would like to take opportunity to, so today's in panel, we have like 4 startup and 4 jury members. Before we ask like the startup to start pitching, I would like to tell jury member to introduce about themselves, and then we will move ahead. So I will start with Wolfgang.
Yes, good morning. I'm Wolfgang, based in Frankfurt, and I'm partner at Blockchain Founders Group. We're a company builder and a venture capital firm based in Liechtenstein. Our focus is on pre-seed and the seed phase of a startup company. Personally, I've been in the venture capital business for over 20 years, both venture capital and management buyouts. And I guess just like everybody else on this call, I especially like the early phase when great ideas are born, a team comes together and tries to do what many believe to be impossible. I'm very glad to be on the jury today with Baptiste, Regina, and Nicholas, and excited to hear from our pitch candidates.
Thank you, Wolfgang. Our next jury member is Regina from IOTA. Regina, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, hello, good morning. Thank you very much for inviting me to this pitch event. I'm looking very much forward to learn all the startups today. Will be really exciting. So IOTA, as you know, or maybe you don't know, but is a distributed ledger protocol, which is not based on blockchain. It's based on directed acyclic graph. We are a non-for-profit foundation in Berlin, but working international. And yeah, so really excited to be a new partner here in BlockRocket, and yeah, to learn more about the startups of today. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. We have the next jury member as Baptiste from Lead Block Partners.
Yeah, hi everyone, good morning. I'm happy to be here. So Baptiste, I'm a partner at Lead Block Partners. So we're a venture capital fund focused on the blockchain space. And more specifically, what we look at is B2B blockchain startups at stages which range from seed all the way to Series B. And yeah, we're pretty active right now looking for deals. So looking forward to your pitches. I missed out. Yeah, we're based in London and Paris. We can invest across Europe and even abroad. So pretty wide ranging. Thank you. Looking forward to it.
Thank you, Baptiste. We have the last jury member as Nicolas Hanser from Sachsen-Anhalt.
Yeah, hi, good morning. Nice to meet you, everybody. Yeah, Nicolas Hanser. I'm a partner here at Sachsen-Anhalt & Co. We are a technology-focused investment bank. Also have my own venture arm on the side, where I do smaller investments. Otherwise, I work with a lot of like smaller and growth companies. My background was 16 years of banking. Started out at Credit Suisse, first Boston. Was later at Jefferies and BNP Paribas. And I'm based also in this beautiful Munich. I don't have a nice background as you, Saga, but it looks, that's where we are. Our other offices are down in Berlin, Frankfurt, and also London. Very much looking forward to the event, and great to meet you all.
Thank you, Nicolas. Thank you, jury members, for your introduction. Before I tell Nora from StokenX to start presenting, I would like to ask Alexandra, audience, there is like a link in below. If you have some question during the pitch event, please feel free to write down there. We'll try to ask you. Otherwise, we'll also try to reach out to you later on with the answers. Thank you. Okay, so our first startup is StokenX. Nora Mathis from Switzerland. Nora, can you please share your screen?
Good. I assume you can see my screen?
Yes, you can also do the full screen.
Yeah, perfect. So
awesome.
Thank you so much for having us here. My name is Nora Mathis. I'm the co-founder and CEO of StokenX, and I'm here with my colleague, Charis Uster, our CTO. So everyone has probably heard of Bitcoin, but there's a new type of token that is super exciting, and that's the security token. Now, unlike Bitcoin, security tokens are actually fairly regulated. They're also backed by real physical asset. And not surprisingly, it's massively disrupting finance, potentially unlocking a tremendous amount of capital, providing additional sources of funding for SMEs, and obviously leveraging the blockchain technology to increase efficiency and reduce costs. So just to give you an idea of the total opportunity, in a recent study, it was estimated the private illiquid markets were around 500 trillion. and those ones could be potentially tokenized. And to put things in perspective, that is 500 times the current market cap of Bitcoin. It's a massive opportunity. Now, unlike public stock or even payment tokens, the secondary market structure for security tokens is not really developed. And there's obviously multiple players trying to get into the market, but they're faced with high regulatory requirements, in addition to obviously playing in a very nascent industry. And as a result, there's currently no liquidity in the security token market. And that's exactly what we're trying to solve at StokenX. We've assembled a team and have the technology to start powering the liquidity of security tokens. Our approach is threefold. We first start with the development of an open architecture technology platform, which is basically going to power the selling and the buying of security tokens. We then take this technology platform and install it at a bank and set up an internal marketplace. And by doing that, the bank's clients are actually able to buy and sell security tokens with each other. And we do that at several different banking institutions. And the third and final step, and probably most exciting one, is actually the linking of the exchanges. By doing that, we would be increasing the total number of participants and then obviously also the total liquidity potential. We believe we're uniquely positioned to be successful for a few reasons. First, we're working hand in hand with regulated financial institutions to make sure that all transactions take place in a fully compliant way. The second one is our open architecture. So we're basically agnostic to the blockchain, to the core banking system, or to the custody solution, thereby increasing the total participant size that could potentially join our network. And the third and probably most important one is our global ambition. We really want to create the first cross-border global liquidity pool for security tokens. And we think this is a great differentiator given the most emerging market solutions are currently based on a single market. In terms of our business model and revenue streams, we're looking at traditional types. So if you take a look at the transaction fees of 10 basis points, and if you think the market will be 2 trillion with the same equivalent trading volume, we believe exchanges will make up the majority of it, say 90%, and peer-to-peer will be the remaining. And we also believe that banks have a very strong opportunity to play here. So we're saying they would count for maybe 50% of the exchanges. And if StokenX is able to get only 5% of that market, we would be looking at a total revenue potential of close to $50 million. So just one thing here, we're talking about a 2 trillion market, but I started this saying that there's close to 500 trillion. So we really think the opportunity is quite massive. In terms of our roadmap, we started by doing research and interviewed banks here in Switzerland and Liechtenstein and got approval and interest. This led to the development of the MVP. And we've completed this phase. We actually have a working product in place. Since the beginning of this year, we've also been working on strengthening our network and looking for complementary business partners like tokenization firms, custody providers, as well as core banking systems. In parallel, we're looking at this point for our first 1 to 2 banks so we can do the proof of concept, fully launch our MVP and finalize our product. And then finally, once we have at least 2 banks, we would do the linking of the exchanges and start the creation of our global liquidity pool. Team, we're very lucky to have a very diverse and experienced team across the areas of finance, consulting, banking, IT, and then obviously deep expertise in the blockchain area. And we're also very lucky to be part of the Alpine Tech group in Switzerland, which were one of the pioneers of the blockchain industry here in Switzerland. So just to finalize, I want to say a few things. The first is tokenization is close to a 500 trillion opportunity. Now, until we get the secondary market structure, we're not going to get liquidity. We believe our technology and our approach is actually an innovative way to fill this gap. And our ask at this point is to help us find our first 1 to 2 banks to do the proof of concept, as well as any other complementary technology partners that basically want to partner with us and help us seize this opportunity. So thank you.
Perfect. Nora, I think you finished before the time. So I think we'll have more time for the
perfect
for the juries. So juries. So first of all, Nora, thank you for the presentation. And I would like to ask now jury members if you have some questions.
Yes, I have a question concerning the technology behind, because you said that you are looking for complementary technology partners. So did you decide for a certain technology yet or not? Which protocol are you using? So that would be interesting for me.
Yeah. So 2 things. First, we're primarily focused on the secondary marketplace. So we're looking for complementary business partners to help us meet the end-to-end value chain. So tokenization firms, custody providers would be ideal partners. In terms of our current technology, we've built it under the Ethereum blockchain at this point, but we definitely want to build, integrate our platform with additional blockchains. From a core banking system, we started by integration with Avaloq, and have also done, almost finalized the Finstar integration. From a custody perspective, we haven't integrated with a third-party custody solution just yet.
Nora, who are your competitors that you are looking at currently and basically in development, just to better understand your positioning?
Yeah. So, you know, people think secondary market, they probably think big national exchange. We don't believe those ones will be our main competitors. They probably will focus on big ticket token opportunities, less on the smaller, currently private illiquid markets. But you could see, we're seeing some development at the banks. They have their own organized trading facility, right? And they're starting to see that development. There's also a couple of companies, so one in the UK, trying to do sort of like a national exchange. And then also here in Switzerland, similar in the national exchange. But again, it just depends on where what kind of assets they're actually going to be focusing on.
Maybe if I may build on that question. So you mentioned the UK player. I imagine that's Arcax. You've got SDX in Switzerland. You've got TDX actually soon. Taurus looks like they want to do it. And your approach seems very different to a pure exchange. And you showed a slide which kind of differentiated it. So it feels like you're kind of going into a gap between the exchange and, you know, so just wondering, can you explain a bit more why banks need you here? Why don't they just need like a tokenizer, custodian, and then one of these exchanges?
Yeah. So absolutely, and you mentioned the right players. So our solution. So all of these players are actually working on a centralized exchange, and what we want to do is actually build a network of exchanges. And why we think that's actually necessary? It's for the liquidity. We want to really join different participant sites and increase the total liquidity pool by increasing the total number of participants. Now, why banks need us, or why we're going through banks? So first of all, they already have the infrastructure. They're already licensed, and they don't have to go through that regulatory requirement, so we can leverage that. Second, when you think about these asset classes, you really need to understand the local, say, SME landscape, right, to be able to know whether these tokens actually make sense to tokenize. And banks, local banks, have that capability versus having, say, a national exchange that doesn't have that immediate link. Third, you know, at some point, I do believe maybe we will all go into digital, but until we get fully digital transactions, you have to have some way to transact with fiat, and banks currently provide that basic link between the fiat and the crypto world. Hopefully that helps, but happy to expand.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, no, I just want to understand, when you talk to these financial institutions, do you see like geographically differences in how they perceive StokenX, or do you see some more open than others, or what is generally their feedback when you have discussions with them?
I wish I could tell you. We've only focused on Switzerland and Liechtenstein, so I think we have to obviously do the market research to go to other jurisdictions. For us, you know, it's important to make sure that we operate in a jurisdiction that's actually crypto friendly. So Switzerland is a perfect example, you know, where tokens are actually protected and recognized as uncertificated securities, right? So that we can basically transfer and enable this. So we're too early. I do expect that other jurisdictions will move into that area, but at this point we haven't expanded to obviously other globes. We have talked to other players in other regions. So in Asia, for example, we talked to a centralized exchange and in Singapore, and they were also interested in linking the exchanges because, again, they're dealing with liquidity problems.
Right. Thank you, Nora.
Thank you so much, guys.
If you have some more questions, please write down in chat box, and I think the founder of StokenX will try to answer. So moving forward, I would like to present you the next startup is from South Africa. They are working on amazing thing. They are bringing blockchain in their ecosystem. So I would like to ask Preeti from Coronet Blockchain. Please start. Can you share your screen, please? Yeah. Awesome.
Yes. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, so my name is Preeti. I'm a co-founder and COO of Coronet Blockchain. I'm with my co-founder today, who's going to be joining us later on the Q&A session. Just to quickly jump into it, we are currently building a business-to-business marketplace that provide blockchain-vetted human extensions and hair products to African salons and retailers, from ethical global manufacturers at lower sourcing costs. There is 3 problems that we are solving. One is quality, second is sourcing, the other one is business system. On the quality side, in 2019 alone, Africa sold about 100 billion units of human hair extensions. 38% of those were counterfeits, and 9 million consumers came forward to report having been sold fake hair. On the sourcing side, in the same year, African salon, they spend about $40,000 just on travel and accommodation. And on top of that, there's at least 4 middlemen between them and the large scale manufacturers. And that adds a lot to the cost of the product itself. And on the system side, 80% of these salon and retailers do not have basic business systems for their sustainability. The solution that we are building now is focusing on quality authentication, an e-commerce platform, and business system. On the quality side, we ensure that all the products that are sold on our platform can be traceable from source to consumer to ensure quality. On the e-commerce side, only vetted suppliers sell authenticated products to certified salons, and we have a network of hairdressers that provide skilled as a service to consumers. On the business system, salons and retailers have an access to our booking system and inventory management system. Our target market, we are focusing on the top 200 manufacturers that are seeking access to the African market. And out of the 500,000 salons that exist in Africa, we only focus on those whose 80% revenue is from selling human hair extensions. We have over 2 million hairdressers that provide skill as a service. And we have over 24 million consumers in Africa that spend $291 on a per look a year. Our revenue model, we take 30% on the e-commerce sales. We take $2 from the hair per 100 grams of hair that is authenticated through our platforms, and we take 15% on the booking system. Salons, they have about 165 bookings at $20 a month. Our go-to-market strategy, we currently have links to some Indian temples where the auctions happen. So they already started introducing us to a number of manufacturers. And when it comes to salons and retailers, the in-store sign-up seems to be more effective, as they're always busy. We do sign them up online as well, but in-store more effective. So when we're in-store as well, we also sign up hairdressers. And consumers, mostly they're on social media. So we reach them via social media. Our current traction, we've raised $270,000 in 2 tranches from IBM, and they're also building our technology. We have already signed up all the supply chain participants from manufacturer to consumer to participate on our pilot program. And within 6 months, we already had over 100 brands that came forward that wants to be part of our platform. Those are salon brands. Currently, we're raising funding for 300K in order through the 18 months to sign up 20 manufacturers, 2,000 salon brands, 4,000 hairdressers, and reach at least 100,000 consumers and authenticate 1 million hair units. And that's where we are. My co-founder will be joining me shortly. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Preeti. I think you very well utilized the time and you finished early. So I think we'll have more time for questions. So to remember, if you have some question, please.
Preeti, I might not be an expert on hair myself, but Who are the main suppliers of hair today? Because you're talking about building up an e-commerce solution, including all the quality checks and everything. I just wonder what does the market look like today? Is it very fragmented, or are they big players?
Yeah, well, the supply chain itself is fragmented, but they are big players. Like one of the manufacturers that has been in the market for over 40 years, at some point they had 4% of the global market. So they are big players. Those are the ones that we are focusing on because they are already audited and some are even listed on stock exchange.
Much appreciated for the question, and salutations and greeting to everyone. We appreciate your time. The question who the main manufacturers are, as you responded, might also need a second component. The hair trade globally begins its genesis mainly in India, in the temples there, where hair is donated for religious reasons. There are other markets as well that are the sourcing points: Brazil, Vietnam, Peru, Malaysia. But those ones, because hair is being sold and it's not being donated, the volumes are not that much. 80% hair volumes globally come from India, whereas majority capacity is in China. However, with that being said, there's capacity in Italy. That's where one of our most experienced manufacturers is based. Much appreciated.
Thanks.
Yeah, probably quickly. No, I found it super interesting because obviously it's a kind of a niche idea that you guys are working on. I mean, when you first see it, I mean, you think you're taking a bit aback, thinking blockchain, yeah, what's going on? But I mean, I clearly see I've been in Africa a couple of times myself for business, and I clearly see what you guys are targeting. I think it's super interesting. But just to understand in terms of the rollout and finding your customers, do you basically sign up each hairdresser, or is it chains, or how does it work? Or basically you have to go to every one of them, so you need a lot of sales power, or how is the sign up? Or is it a couple of chains that you guys are focusing on? Which region are you focusing on exactly? Because just to understand a bit better the rollout.
So most of them have got chain brands, minimum 4 branches, up to 20 branches. And our priority now and our starting point is shopping malls, because a shopping mall will have like 20 salons in one shopping mall. Those are 20 brands with branches in other places. So it's more effective when we sign them up in store.
Thank you kindly. I think there's also a question of the regions we're focusing on. Currently, we are very active across South Africa, Kenya, Nigeria, and also parts of Ethiopia. Much appreciated.
So I have a question concerning the main target group, because I didn't get it so well. Who is your main target group? Are those the consumers? Are they asking for more transparency and trust in the product? Are these the salons? So who is the really main target group, and where do you start also in terms of go-to-market?
Yeah, so salons and consumers are driving the transparency when it comes to product, because they are the ones that end up with hair that is fake, and then when they return it, they can't really prove whether it was compromised with them or with salons. And salons as well, they are at the forefront, because when you buy something at any retail, you don't think manufacturer when there's something wrong with it. So salons as a business, they are losing a lot of money when these counterfeits end up in their inventory, because they can't say it's a manufacturer. We don't know who the manufacturer is. We deal with you as a salon brand. And the power of social media as well, it's going to be all over social media tomorrow if you end up with many customers that are complaining.
Maybe a quick question on the amount of work this requires, if I understand correctly. So you've got this marketplace with the blockchain in the back end for the transparency. And then you also mentioned, you talked about booking systems and charging for that. So I imagine you also want to build this tool for salons to take bookings in a way that could be, you know, 2 separate startups that could do very well. So it's a lot of work plus a blockchain component. So how are you thinking about that? Why do you think you need to build all of that, and how are you going about it? Thank you.
Thank you kindly. Thanks for your question. I think earlier on there was a word that was in a question where they said, is it a fragmented industry? And I think the booking system and the inventory management is a value add for particularly our B2B for the salons and stylists, because currently about 80% of the salon sector in South Africa and the other countries we mentioned is in the informal sector of the market. So trapped in the informal sector, there are various pain points. They are financially excluded. They can't get any financing. So if we bring in them blockchain vetted here, we've already seen that there is demand for booking system. There's demand for inventory, for them to formalize not just the quality of the product, but to also put their house in order, because COVID has been a huge reminder that remaining in the informal sector, it means you are not pandemic proofed. It means if something else happened, you can't get any financing, you can't get any assistance. So there has been a demand. And fortunately, our current funding round, Seed A with IBM and the current build is already incorporating all those three moving parts in one. Thank you.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Preeti, for the awesome presentation. And thank you, jury. Moving further, before I would ask Vlad to start presentation, I would ask the community member, please write down your question in the chat box, or you can also write down into the LinkedIn platform. And at the end of the event, we'll do the a voting, which means like a 50% voting basis will be on the jury members and 50% will be on the basis of the community voting. So at the end of the event, we'll have like a monthly startup award winner. So we always do like the same thing. Like every month we have like 4 startup, and one of the startup will be like a winner of the monthly pitch event. Yeah. So moving forward, I would like to ask Vlad from Morfin. So we are like a startup from Luxembourg. Vlad, stage is all yours.
Yeah, thank you very much. So thank you for the opportunity. And yeah, I like the previous pitches a lot. So thanks for the pitches. Okay, so Morfin is a platform that turns actions into tokens. And to achieve that, we have built a tokenization platform and a Gamified wallet on the front end. Everything started many years ago, and I think everybody sees this name as familiar if you ever read a white paper with Alice and Bob, who are some fictional characters which are sending to each other tokens in a usually very complicated protocol. So this is how cryptography started, and this is how everything is explained as a mechanic on a blockchain. But this is more or less a virtual world, and the real Bob in the real world would like to actually use these tokens, you know, like this myth of buying pizza with Bitcoin. He would like to use the tokens in the real world and have some benefits all the time, and especially get them and be able to get tokens and be rewarded with tokens in the real world and in many use cases. Currently, the only thing that resembles a little bit token system are loyalty points from loyalty programs, but they are not so popular as before, and they are declining, and most of people don't see the real benefit of them. I mean, 29% of people never use any loyalty points, or in general membership activity, it's down to 46%, so less than a half are actually using. But what we can do for Bob is to provide a wallet to store all kinds of tokens and to have mechanics to earn those tokens in the real world. Because we have these mechanics in decentralized finance, but there are some kind of financial product isolated in the blockchain, more or less, and not with interaction in the real world. So this is what we provide to Bob, a way that he will earn tokens for actions in the real world. How he will do that? He will earn tokens for activities, for instance, for riding a bicycle, for running or staying fit, for walking more, for driving less or driving better to reduce his CO2 footprint. Also, he can earn tokens with interactions like answering questions, creating content, go to events, go to locations, publish pictures, and so on. Okay, but who makes the rules in Bob's wallet and how he gets the tokens, by what rules? So we introduce Alice. So Alice, she owns a retail chain and she strongly believes in sustainability and decarbonization. So what she wants to achieve with the token program is to increase customer commitment and increase engagement, to create brand ambassadors, to increase revenues, to make a bigger customer lifetime value, to save on customer acquisition, so to create a viral mechanism to get more customers and to get customers from partners and through partnerships, and also to provide a premium customer experience like customer is expecting these days, with personalization. So she needs to understand with each interaction more about the customer to provide this experience. So how Alice can do that? For her, it's a little bit more complicated than for Bob. So she can control the whole token economy using our backend, which is a scenario designer. So in which she programs the whole behavior of the wallet, for the community, for her community. So Bob will see all the buttons, all the challenges, all the activities in the wallet if he participates in Alice community. And this is described here, or Alice also can take from our template library, because all of these scenarios are open source and they are used only with the mouse, it's drag and drop. So Bob's journey is very simple. So he just installs our app, our wallet app, then he in the app joins Alice community. So then a wallet is created for her specific token, and then he just starts earning tokens interacting in the community. So for such a solution, we have a lot of market verticals. They sum more than 250 billions in total, but there are various markets like tokenization, gamification, microlearning, low-code platform, employee engagement, or customer loyalty. What we have until now, so we have a waiting list and we have on rolling one project with one issuer of coins, is Surfcoin. This is for decarbonization. So basically they reward people for riding bicycle to work. And then these tokens for each token is calculated, a certain CO2 amount that is saved by this. And then the companies are redeeming the tokens and give to employees money or other advantages for doing that. And also they have also a network of other suppliers which accept tokens from them, like for instance, bicycle shop and so on for accessories, which are also bought with this coin that is issued on the platform and collected in the wallets of the community. We also have other leads, but we take one at a time because the platform is very complicated, very new, and we do not onboard two customers at the same time. And we did not open yet the self-onboarding, which is a capability, but we are still actually afraid to do it. Yeah.
Vlad,
So,
can you please wrap up? Sorry
yes.
to interrupt you. Yeah.
Okay, so we have a subscription model for getting the fees, and our team, we were former colleagues from high school, so we know each other for 25 years, and we have a software company, so the development was done internally. And okay, we have some funding history. So thank you very much. I'm sorry I exceeded the time.
All good. Julie, any question? Thank you, Vlad, for the presentation.
Maybe just to understand, when you say token, you mean one token that would be for your all the players on your app, or you mean one token per player, just to understand how it
Exactly.
works?
So each issuer, it's creating its own token on our platform and define the rules. So basically we are like a generic tokenization platform with a generic wallet. So all the communities and all the tokens will be seen in this generic wallet. and each issuer is issuing its own token with its own rule of how we want to distribute the token according to the actions.
Okay.
Any more questions?
When you say on your platform, on what technology is it based? Do you develop an own protocol, or is it based on Ethereum, or?
So right now, actually, we don't use Ethereum. We use Stellar because it's cheaper and it's much faster, and we need microtransactions in many cases. And all the rest is developed, is our own platform, is developed in-house. And the part with the scenarios and where you define, that's open source, and this is like a drag and drop programming that anybody can use.
Mm-hmm. Where is the benefit comparing to classical loyalty programs when you collect points or tokens? Where is the difference?
So basically, each issuer can expand his ecosystem. So imagine airline miles, yeah? So with airline miles, you can distribute this airline miles via credit cards sometimes. With the miles that you collect spending something with a MasterCard, you then, with the miles, you can buy merchandise in any kind of partner shop and so on. So it's the same thing with tokens, but you are not restricting anything because the infrastructure is public. So basically anybody can participate in the scheme. They don't depend on our platform, and itself, the token has a value which can be exchanged with other tokens on the platform. So you're not stuck with the airline miles if you're not flying anymore. You just sell them and buy another token on the platform. So basically the value is more liquid, and you even can use it as collateral.
So your main product is the platform and the wallet to store those tokens? That yes. You provide the service, that you can describe the governance of the token and the loyalty program, and then you can swap from one token to the other. But so where is the USP, the unique selling proposition? Because I just can also, as a company, I also could just give out some token. Why do I need your platform? Why do I need you?
Because if you are interested in having methods to distribute the tokens based on actions, yeah. So, for instance, for riding a bike, so we implement already in the wallet all these gamification methods for distribution of the tokens, yeah, and to create a profile and to create the rules for the distribution. Yeah? So for getting tokens for steps, getting tokens for answering questions, getting tokens for riding a bike, getting tokens for purchases. Yeah? But this is very classical. So basically, you need our platform only to have various methods of distributing the tokens and creating rules for that.
Okay, when you would compare yourself, which competitors would you see?
So we compare ourselves usually in the gamification market and in the loyalty program market. So for instance, a multi-vendor platform for gamification is Gamified. And in loyalty, a very good platform is Antavo. Yeah. But Antavo is, both of them are not using blockchain. You cannot interchange tokens, and you cannot take them out of the platform. So our platform is completely open. We are not locking the customer in, and the wallet is generic, like I said.
All right. So the main benefit is that you can really change the token, and it's an open system then, and so you can use your tokens and you can change it into others. So
yes, and use it as an asset. like you cannot do it any kind of loyalty points to exchange it or to put it as collateral. Also for the companies, you know, distribute the tokens to other partners, and they distribute like I give the example with airline miles. Airline miles are selling these tokens, for instance, to Visa or to MasterCard. But with our system, you can do it much more easier on the platform and to onboard any kind of partner, and you give them an amount of token, they distribute in their network, and then the people who are collecting those tokens in their network, they become your customers when they come to spend the tokens to your brand. So it's cross-brand, very easy to implement.
Thank you, guys. I have to cut it down here now. Moving further, I would like to also give opportunity. I mean, if you have some more questions, you can reach out to Vlad via chat box. And audience, if you have some more questions for our startup founders, please feel free to go to our LinkedIn page and write down your question. We are happy to take your questions. And moving further, I would like to take opportunity, like there is like lots of NFT hype. Everyone, like we already organized panel 2 weeks before, like about the future of NFT. And today we have very exciting startup coming from Berlin, and they are like planning to disrupt the erotic marketplace. So I would like to tell the nftreats team to start their pitch.
Okie dokie.
Okay, we hope you're ready for this.
So, can you see our preview screen?
It's starting.
Can you see this?
Everybody sees our presentation? Perfect. So first of all, hi, we're Charis and Ernest. We're the founders of nftreats.art, and we are the world's first uncensored marketplace for erotic art as non-fungible tokens. We have a very ambitious goal, which is that we want to change the future of adult entertainment. As you can see, nftreats is going to operate on 3 huge markets. 1/3 of all internet traffic is to view erotic content, which is an insanely big number. And this excludes other areas of erotic entertainment, like, for example, sexual wellness products or the sex tech industry. And the 3rd market we're going to be operating on is the NFT market, which has been going through the roof in recent months. Now, erotic entertainment, and especially porn, has a bit of a bad reputation. And that's not entirely without reason. A lot of porn websites, especially tube sites, make money off illegally uploaded content. To give you a recent example, Pornhub just had to delete 70% of their original content because they were not able to verify to their customers that the content they're viewing is actually uploaded consensually with everybody involved. On the bright side, we're also seeing a lot of new models popping up, like, for example, platforms that use a subscription-based model. And research has shown that young generations, to be more precise, millennials and Gen Z, are more willing than any generation ever before them to pay money for ethical adult entertainment. Now, also these trustworthy sites have a problem, though. We're witnessing
Sorry, Charis, we can't hear you.
Charis, you're lagging. Hello? I think their internet connection got lost.
That is unfortunate.
Can you hear us now?
What?
Hello?
Yes, now?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Yeah. Where were we when it cut out?
Really
There was a
sorry.
time lag of like 30 seconds time lag. So maybe just like 70% content like deleted. Like that's roughly where we got stuck.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was speaking about Pornhub and how they had to delete their content because they were not able to verify that it was uploaded consensually. Then there's also a lot of new platforms that use other concepts, like, for example, subscription-based platforms, and they promise more regulation and more ethical content. We've also seen that recent studies have shown that young generations, to be more precise, millennials and Gen Z, are more willing than any generation ever before them to pay money for ethical erotic entertainment. Now also these trustworthy sites have a problem, though, currently we're witnessing a global backlash on erotic content online. A lot of really big platforms such as Instagram and Tumblr have increased their restrictions of erotic content, which leads to sex workers and erotic artists to be pushed off the market entirely. This is mainly because none of these platforms, not even OnlyFans, which is the biggest and most profitable one, was actually designed for this kind of content.
NFTs and the technology behind them offer novel solutions to these problems, one of which is the ability to verify the authenticity of content, a globally secure record of transactions and ownership history, and this, for the first time, allows for the fair valuation of digital art and content. It also allows for new ways to engage with adult content, making it tradable, for example. Our company values are mainly sex positivity, community focused, based on trust and the freedom of expression. If we think about long-term implications of combining this technology with the adult content and the adult industry, we could imagine, for example, a globally secure index crypto token for adult creators. This could be accessed by all adult content providers and would be a massive tool in fighting against illegal pornography and other illegal content such as child pornography or revenge porn. A short-term roadmap for our project. We're going to be doing 5 pre-launch auctions with high-profile artists and performers, and we have a launch event scheduled with NGO Women of Tech, who are based in the US. We're very excited about this launch event because we feel it's going to bring great visibility to our platform. To give you an idea of some of the collaborators and partnerships we'll be working with, My Sweet Apple, who are going to be one of the auctioneers or one of the creators who will be auctioning on the platform, have amassed 357 million views on their Pornhub account, which is very impressive. We're also going to be working with Women of Sex Tech further and other civil society organizations in reaching our ultimate goal to bring ethical adult content online. On the development side of things and the technology side of things, we're going to be using the Polygon sidechain due to its low transaction fees, the fact that it's 99% more efficient, and also due to its fast transactions. This is a more eco-friendly proof-of-stake system, and there's a massive demand for this from collectors and creators alike of NFTs. Our main source of revenue will be the 8% commission that we take on all sales, and based on our projections, we should be able to break even in a 4-month period, which is obviously a very exciting prospect. We've managed to raise 55K so far. Our target is 155K. This will allow for a 2-year runway based on this financial breakdown.
Yeah, to come to an end, we believe we're the right team to take on this responsibility because we have experience both working in the adult industry and working with NFT markets and within the crypto space, which is quite rare, we believe. We have a great team of marketing experts and developers who share our vision, so we're really confident in what we're doing. We love nftreats as a solo project, but we also see it as a sort of gateway to start learning and to start using blockchain to reach our ultimate goal, which is to make adult content safer, fairer, and therefore more enjoyable for everyone. This is the end of our presentation, and we're really looking forward to the questions.
Thank you guys for the awesome presentation. Before we move to the question Q&A round with the jury, I would also like to ask our jury member in between, please try to fill up that voting sheet, which I shared with you guys earlier, so we can utilize the time also in between. And we call, so I would say like, okay, please feel free to ask your question, and in between also, please try to rate the startups. And I would also ask like Alexandra to please put the poll function on the screen so our audience can also vote. So audience, you have like 4 options, and you can also like vote. Yeah.
I have a question. How can you guarantee about the authenticity of the content which comes to
We'll be using Know Your Customer technology. Essentially, we'll be authenticating anyone who uploads content onto Our platform is going to be heavily curated. We're only going to be working with people who are verified. We know that their content is legal. We're also going to be vetting the content before it goes online. So once that happens and we assign a token to that content, or we tokenize the content, everyone who has subscribed to our platform and trades that content, etc., will know that it's secure through our Know Your Customer protocol.
Ernest and Charis, maybe it's just an impression, but my feeling was you're talking about two business models here. I mean, one is the NFT, obviously, the NFT platform, and the other one being making sure that adult content is ethical and verified and basically genuine.
Yeah.
Is that how does these two come together?
Well, essentially, the transparency of blockchain technology and the fact that we can use this Know Your Customer technology to verify the content creators and say, look, like we've done the appropriate checks. Our platform is based on making sure that everyone who we work with is ethical, so that you can trust that the content you're getting is ethical. That in itself is taking a, oh, sorry, I've got a pop-up here. That in itself is taking a step to providing, that in itself is taking a step into providing ethical adult content. So we don't see it as a separate thing, you know, it's just another way to provide this content. And by using Know Your Customer, by attaching it to a token which everyone can see and can check that it's been verified by us, you know that the content you're consuming is ethical.
Yeah, we believe that the public nature of blockchain is what's going to be the winner for adult content, because it's just a way that you can regulate and verify content creators. That's not just in the hands of us, you know, like if people manage these things, it can be corrupted, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But since blockchain has public records and of transactions, etc., it's quite uncorruptible.
Yeah.
Yeah, just quickly, how does the revenue...
Does that answer your question?
Makes sense.
Yeah. Just one last question.
Pardon?
From my side, just how does the revenue model exactly work? I didn't really get it from the presentation. So how does the... at the end, or where does the...
So we facilitate the trade of the NFTs being the content, essentially. And the revenue model is based on taking an 8% commission on every sale. So 8% commission on primary sale. What tends to happen within the NFT marketplace is people also resell the artwork. A great benefit of the technology is also that the creators get a 20% royalties on each resale, but then on the resale, we'll also take another, 8% commission on that. So any sale that is made on the platform, we get 8% commission. Any secondary sale that's made on the platform, we get commission again from that.
We're also looking into opportunities for advertisement. I used to work for a company who makes, alternative erotic cinema. And advertisement placed on any erotic platforms goes really well. So we think that could also be a potential revenue stream.
For sure.
Awesome. Papiste, can you please also in between rate the startups? I send you the link in chat box below, so we can also get your ratings for the jury member. And thank you, audience, for your vote. Before I declare the results, I would like to ask other jury members if you have some more questions. We have still place for one more question.
Maybe super quickly, who do you think will be the main issuers? Are we talking about the workers themselves? Or are we talking about the people they work for, or studios or whatever? How do you see it?
In terms of who's going to be issuing the tokens, the NFTs?
Yeah.
It'll be the creators. It'll be the creators for sure. Like that. The whole, one of the biggest points of this, or what we're trying to achieve, is also trying to put the creators at the center of this, like these tube sites and so on, they just have a model that completely exploits these people. Like their model is just hoover up as much content online as possible, put it on their platform. You can search and find whatever you want, but you don't know where it's come from. You don't know whether the people in it are consenting to it. You don't know whether they're being paid for it, you know? Our model, we take 8% of the cut, so they get 92% of the fee. And then also with the secondary sales, they're getting the royalties. So the whole system is now massively in favor of the creators, and they'll be the main issuers of the token.
We've started talking to a lot of potential partners, and so far the feedback we've received, especially from content creators, is incredible. They're all so excited about the opportunity of a new market where they actually can make the money they deserve for their product.
Thank you guys. Thank you for joining. And now it's time for deciding who is the winner. It's quite tough competition, I would say, but it's a very, very close call between I would say StokenX and nftreats. Awesome, guys. So I would say can you guess who is the winner? Okay, so the second place goes to nftreats, and first place goes to StokenX. Nora, congratulations for
Thank you
winning
so
the
much,
monthly
guys.
chart.
Very excited. Thank you.
Okay, in sum up, I would say thank you all of our startup founders and jury members. Thank you for joining, and thank you for your valuable time and joining our monthly pitch event. I really appreciate. And once again, thank you from all of our team, BlockRocket team. Thank you, audience, for joining us. As always, stay tuned, follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, and we do lots of panel events coming in upcoming months. We do as usual monthly pitch event, and at the end, I would like to thank our event partner, Disrupt Network, and our media partner, Be in Crypto. So I wish you guys have a good day. Stay tuned, and see you next time. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you all. Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye bye. Ciao.